Good morning and welcome to the market updates. Okay, I've been planning to release this kind of videos for a long time, but everything has its own time to get started. So finally, I'm starting with the market update starting from today. So what we do is we will do the analysis of the last week and also how the market is trying to perform or expected to perform in the coming week. We will call it as the market last week and this week. Okay. So there are a few highlights from the past week. And the last week, the Indian stock market maintained a bullish momentum and Nifty somehow managed to close at around 25,285, Bank Nifty at 56,609 and Sensex at 82,500. All the three indices closed in green. And when you compare with the previous week, we saw that all the three indices had a good move from 24,895 to 25,285 in Nifty, which means it's close to around 390, 400 points. And from Bank Nifty from 55,589 to 56,609, that is close to around 1,020 points. And Sensex from 82,000 from 81,297 all the way up to 82,005, which is also close to 1,300 points. So both Bank Nifty and Sensex managed to close around 100,000 points more, whereas the Nifty was able to manage to close around 400 points. Now, when we do the weekly analysis, we follow the global, then Indian, then the sector and the stock approach. We call it as GISS. So in the global, we try to look into the different world markets like US market, European markets, then Asian markets, then followed by the commodities, which is gold, silver, probably crude oil, and then also the currency. Then we will have a peek into the Indian markets to find out what our indices like Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Sensex is doing. After that, we will move into the sectors, which all sectors are bullish. And based on the analysis of global, the Indian market, as well as the different sectors, Indian markets, we will try to do an analysis on some of the stocks in some bullish setup of sectors to identify and focus or narrow down our decision to few of the stocks of the out of the bunch of probably 5,000 odd stocks in the market. So to start with, we will start with the Dow Jones Industrial Average. If you see, the RSI is above 60 in monthly chart, and in the weekly chart, it has just dropped below 60, which is hovering around 56.7 as of now. And you all know there was a fall on the US market on Friday, and that Friday fall has led to the breakdown of the RSI level from 60 level to below 60 on a closing basis on the weekly chart. Now, carefully look at the daily chart. In daily chart, after trying to push the Dow Jones 4 times in the last couple of months, like 1.5, 2 months, finally it has given away the gains and a major fall has happened on Friday based on some of the tweets or some of the decision which came from Trump on the tariff imposition on China. So if you look at the RSI on a daily chart, it is around 39.16. So we will have to wait and watch what happens on Monday. Normally, Red Friday will lead to a Red Monday as well. A bad Friday will lead to a bad Monday, and the situation get changes only on the first half of Tuesday or later half of Tuesday. So keeping the fingers crossed, we will watch the Dow Jones Index on Monday evening or probably on Tuesday morning Indian Standard Time before the market open to see how was the reaction on the US market. Did the Dow Jones take support at RSI around 39.40 and try to bounce back, or it has given up for the time being and it is to go down a bit further? The next level, which I see as a support for the Dow Jones, is closely around 45,000, and it's 45,900 to 45,000, which is another 400 to 500 points on the downside. Let's wait and watch for Monday opening and close in the US market. Now, coming to Nasdaq also the RSI is above 60 in monthly as well as the weekly chart, whereas on the daily chart the RSI have dropped down from 60 odd levels and it is around 45.46 now. Now on Monday when the US market opens, there are two possibilities. Either the market can still go down, the Nasdaq can still go down and take a support at 40 odd levels, which normally would be the case. If not, it has to bounce from here. So if in case it falls down, 23,979 is the immediate level where the daily RSI can take a support or on the Nasdaq. And if that is broken, probably we may still see further downside up to 23,000 level or to 22,689. So that the RSI has to come down from the 60 odd levels to the 60 level in the weekly chart and then take a bounce or support from there. So again, keeping the fingers crossed, we will have to wait and watch what happens on the Nasdaq index on Monday evening in the US when the US markets open. So moving to S&P 500, S&P 500 also the weekly and the monthly chart is above 60 and the daily chart has fallen from below 60 levels to close to around 42. There is a probability that it can take support at 42 odd levels or 40 odd levels on Monday, depending upon how the US market perform. And then we will take a call on what to be done with the US markets for people who are trading on the US markets. Okay. Now moving on to gold. Gold has seen a superb rally over the couple of months. In fact, if you look at the whole year of 2025, gold has have a dream run. Okay, we almost touched 125K, which is around 1,25,000, and that whole number is trying to play the game here, I guess. Because if you look at the daily chart of gold, which is on Thursday, it had a red candle, and on Friday, it had a small doji leg candle, and the RSI, all three time frames is above 60. So if there is exhaustion which is happening after a good run up, probably you will see the gold closing below the candle of Friday, and then it can fall another 5,000 to 6,000 points all the way up to 115,000. Exactly the same way, silver has also had a dream run in the last year. It almost touched 150K plus, and now that whole number of 1,50,000 is playing in the minds of the traders and investors. So the price has come down. It is trying to the monthly candle, if you look at it, it's trying to form a key reversal candle, and in the weekly, it's kind of a doji or like a spinning top. Okay, and the spinning top is clearly visible in the daily chart on Thursday in silver. So if that low is broken on Monday in the markets, probably we will have a silver falling at around 10 to 12,000 points from the level of 145, 146, where we are in now. Now, moving to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, if you see the monthly chart is above 60, the weekly chart has dropped down, as well as the daily chart has dropped down to the level of 40 and is taken a support at 40 levels. We will have to wait and watch if this continues on Monday when the markets open big time all over the world, and we will see how is it going to perform in the next week. Now, USD INR, all three RSIs are above 60. So if you look at the daily chart specifically, you can see the consolidation which is happening for last 1 or 2 weeks. Okay, so if in case the consolidate after consolidation, the level breaks either on the upside or on the downside, then only there can be a trade in the USD INR as of now. So watch for the sideways movement and for the breakout, which is supposed to come in the daily chart of USD INR, either on the upside or on the downside. Moving on to Indian indices, Nifty monthly chart RSI is above 60, weekly is around 57, and on the daily it has managed to cross the 60 levels on last week Friday. So as a whole, the Indian indices Nifty looks pretty decent and fine, but based on the global cues and the chaos which is caused by the US market, Indian's market will also react to it. So we will have to wait and watch next week whether the Nifty is going to cross RSI in the weekly chart is about to cross 60 levels and go up. So if not, there can be a retracement from the current levels, and it may indirectly have a bearish week starting from Monday all the way up to Friday. Now let's have a peek into Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty also the same story in the monthly as well as the daily. The RSI is above 60, whereas weekly RSI is close to around 59.5. So based on Monday, Tuesday, we will come to know what is going to happen in the Bank Nifty as well. If the RSI is resisting at 60, which means starting Monday, we will have a resistance level at weekly chart, which indirectly will bring down the RSI on the daily from 66 odd level to either 60 levels or even below 60. What I'm guessing is, as I'm recording this video, there should not be a fall of more than 100 to 200 points in Nifty and around 600 to 800 points in Bank Nifty. But let's see, 55,593 is the level I would be looking at. If it breaks, then there is a buffer of another 500 points to around 55,000 levels. So 55,000 to 55,600 is the level which I will be looking at if in case a major fall happens. But uh, my analysis says there is very little chances of 56,000 or 55,500 levels getting broken so easily. So let's watch as and when the market opens on Monday in the coming week. So moving on to quickly on to Sensex. Sensex, the story continues. Monthly is above 60, daily is above 60, weekly is around 56. So the same kind of analysis you'll have to do. Wait and watch what happens on Monday. Again, there should not be any drastic decision taken by you as investors or traders in the first 30 minutes or 15 minutes. When market opens on Monday on 9:15, please make sure that you are not selling off or closing your positions. Just wait for the market to settle down, and based on the setups which you are in, you take a call. Don't go by the news or the views which you are hearing or which is there as a noise in the market. Stick to your strategies. That is the advice. Now I'm looking at few of the sectors which is looking bullish according to me. So in auto, if you look at the auto index, the RSI is above 60 in monthly and weekly, whereas it's in daily, it's around 58 levels. And in the weekly chart also, you can see a cup-shaped structure. We will have to wait and see whether the breakout happens. If the breakout happens, then there is a potential of around close to 6,000, 7,000 points move in the auto index on the weekly chart, which will indirectly have an impact on the auto shares like Maruti, Hyundai, TVS, Hero, all those, Eicher Motors, all those stocks. So keep a watch on the auto sector and the auto related stocks. Now, quickly moving into the commodities. In the commodities index, if you see the RSI is above 55 in the weekly chart, whereas the RSI is above 60 in the monthly as well as the daily. So we'll have to wait for the Friday close to see whether the RSI is moving above 60 in the weekly chart in the Nifty commodities. Now, coming to the consumption story, the consumption story is looking great. You have the weekly as well as the monthly RSI above 60, and the daily RSI has given a point of inflection kind of an entry in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so if it's about to cross 60 in the daily also, we have all the three time frames confirming the 60, 60, 60 setup. So you can look at entering into some of the consumption related stocks. Now, moving into the financial services, the RSI is above 60 in monthly, whereas RSI is around 56 in daily, in weekly, and 60 around 63 in daily. Now, the financial services has been doing pretty decent in the last couple of months. We have some kind of a consolidation happening, and probably once the breakout happens, we should get a good decent trade. So keep watching for the weekly close of financial services related stocks for the next week. In metal indices, if you look at the metal index, you have the RSI above 60 in both, or in fact, all the three time frame. Again, there is a couplage structure. Metal index looking pretty decent and good. We had a good run in steel, copper, gold, silver, everything. But in the last days, some hiccups which has happened in the zinc and copper. So keep an eye. Probably there should be a small retracement, but look for an opportunity to get into the metal stock based on the analysis which you do. Now, one more thing as a disclaimer, this is not at all a buy or sell recommendation. This is just for educational purpose, and which you should take it as a guideline for your investment or trading decision, but do consult with your own financial advisor before you get into any position. Now, PSU banks is superb setup. All three time frames, the RSI is above 60. And there is some kind of a run up which has already happened in some of the banks like Canara Bank, Indian Bank, SBI, etc. And some news is coming is what we feel. And the rumor or the news which is going to be coming out soon, or I'm not sure whether it is already out or not, the number of public sector banks is going to be reduced to 3 or 4. So probably it will be SBI, Canara Bank, and Punjab National Bank. If that happens, you can understand why Canara Bank has run up so much. So other banks, the PSU banks like Indian Bank, Union Bank, etc., also will be merged under these three names. So that might be the reason, but for based on our setups, the PSU banks have given an entry much long before. So keep an eye on the PSU banks stocks as well. So that's all for now for on a market update. I want to keep this video very crisp. We'll be back with more updates in the next week, and some individual scripts analysis and video I'll be posting. So please do watch, comment, and subscribe, and let your friends also know about this channel and the video so they also can get benefited. Thank you. Have a great trading and have a great investing future as well. Bye.